Robert Louis Stevenson. Treasure Island. Chapter 11. What I Heard in the Apple Barrel. "No, not me," said Long John Silver. "Flint was the captain. I was the quartermaster, even with my wooden leg. In the same battle where I lost my leg, old Pew lost his eyes. The man who cut off my leg was a skilled surgeon. He had studied in college and knew Latin and many things. But he was hanged like a dog and left in the sun like the others at Corso Castle. That was Robert's crew. They were always changing the names of their ships, Royal Fortune and so on. Now, I say a ship should keep the name it was given. That was true for the Cassandra, which brought us safely home from Malabar after England took the Viceroy of the Indies. And it was true for the old Walrus, Flint's ship. I have seen her covered in blood and full of gold, almost ready to sink." "Ah!" cried another voice. It was the youngest sailor on board, and he sounded full of admiration. "Flint was the best of them all." "Davis was a great man too, from what I hear," said Silver. "I never sailed with him. First I sailed with England, then with Flint. That is my story. And now I sail for myself, in a way. I saved £900 from England, and 2,000 after Flint. That is not bad for a common sailor, all safe in the bank. It is not earning money that matters, it is saving it. You can be sure of that. Where are all England's men now? I don't know. Where are Flint's men? Most of them are here on this ship, happy to get food. Before this, some of them were begging. Old Pew, who was blind and should have been ashamed, spent £1,200 in 1 year like a rich lord. Where is he now? He is dead and below deck. But for 2 years before that, he was starving. He begged, he stole, he killed, and still he starved." "Well, it does not seem very useful after all," said the young sailor. "It is not useful for fools, that is true," said Silver. "But now listen. You are young, but you are very smart. I saw that as soon as I looked at you, and I will speak to you like a man. You can imagine how I felt when I heard this terrible old man speaking to another sailor in the same flattering way he had used with me. If I had been able, I think I would have killed him through the barrel. Meanwhile, he continued speaking, not knowing that I could hear him. This is how it is with gentlemen of fortune. They live hard lives, and they risk being hanged. But they eat and drink very well. And when a voyage is finished, they have hundreds of pounds in their pockets, instead of just a little money. Now most of them spend it on rum and wild living, and then go back to sea with nothing. But that is not my way. I save my money, some here, some there, and not too much in one place, so no one becomes suspicious. I am 50 years old, remember. When I return from this voyage, I will live like a real gentleman. It is about time, you may say. But I have lived well until now. I have never refused myself anything I wanted, and I have slept well and eaten good food all my life, except when at sea. And how did I start? As a common sailor, just like you." "Well," said the other, "but all the other money is gone now, isn't it? You cannot show your face in Bristol after this." "Where do you think it was?" asked Long John Silver with a laugh. "In Bristol, in banks and places," answered the other man. "It was there," said the cook. "It was there when we left port. But now my old wife has it all, and the spyglass is sold, everything, even the business. And my old lady is on her way to meet me. I would tell you where, because I trust you, but it might make the others jealous." "And can you trust your wife?" asked the other. "Gentlemen of fortune," said the cook, "usually do not trust each other, and they are right. But I have my own way. If a man who knows me causes trouble, he will not live long in the same world as old John. Some men were afraid of Pew, and some were afraid of Flint. But Flint himself was afraid of me. He was afraid and proud, too. His crew was the roughest crew at sea. Even the devil himself would be afraid to sail with them. But listen, I am not a man who boasts. You have seen how easy I am to live with. But when I was quartermaster, Flint's pirates were not gentlemen at all. You can be sure you are safe with old John's crew. Well, I tell you now, said the young man, I did not like this job at all before I spoke with you, John. But now I give you my word. And you are a brave and clever lad, answered Silver. He shook his hand so strongly that the whole barrel moved. I have never seen a better man to be part of a pirate crew. By this time I began to understand what they meant. When they said, gentleman of fortune, they clearly meant a pirate. And the scene I had just heard was the final step in turning one of the honest sailors into a pirate. Perhaps the last honest sailor on the ship. But I was soon less worried about this, because Silver gave a small whistle, and a third man came and sat with them. Dick is with us, said Silver. Oh, I knew Dick was with us, said the voice of Israel Hands. He is no fool. He chewed his tobacco and spat. But listen, he went on. This is what I want to know, Barbecue. How long are we going to sail back and forth like this? I am tired of Captain Smollett. He has pushed me around long enough. I want to go into that cabin. I want their food and wine. Israel, said Silver, you are not very clever, and you never were. But you can hear, I think. At least your ears are big enough. So listen to me. You will stay forward. You will live simply. You will speak quietly. And you will stay sober until I give the word. You can be sure of that. Well, I am not saying no, said the coxswain. What I am asking is, when? That is what I want to know. When? By heaven, cried Long John Silver. If you really want to know, I will tell you when. At the last possible moment, that is when. We have a very good sailor, Captain Smollett, sailing the ship for us. And here are the squire and the doctor with a map and everything. But I don't know where it is, do I? And neither do you. So my plan is this. The squire and the doctor will find the treasure and help us bring it on board. Then we will decide what to do. If I could trust all of you, I would let Captain Smollett sail us halfway back before I acted. But we are all sailors here, I think, said the young man Dick. We are all common sailors, that is what you mean, said Silver sharply. We can steer the ship, but who can set the course? That is where you all fail. If I had my way, I would let Captain Smollett take us back into the trade winds first. Then we would have no mistakes and enough water every day. But I know what you are like. I will deal with them on the island as soon as the treasure is on board, and that is a pity. But you are never happy until you are drunk. I feel sick having to sail with people like you. Calm down, Long John, said Israel Hands. Who is going against you? How many good ships do you think I have seen taken? Cried Silver. And how many strong young men have I seen hanging at Execution Dock? And all because of hurry, hurry, hurry. Do you hear me? I have seen many things at sea. If you were patient and careful, you could live like rich men. But not you. I know you. You will drink rum tomorrow and be hanged later. Everyone knows you are a careful man, John, said Israel. But there are others who can sail a ship as well as you. They liked to have some fun. They were not so serious. They enjoyed life like happy companions. Oh, really, said Silver. And where are they now? Pugh was like that, and he died a beggar. Flint was like that, and he died of drink in Savannah. They were a fine crew, yes, but where are they now? But, asked Dick. When we finally act, what will we do with them? That is the right question, cried the cook with approval. That is what I call thinking. Well, what do you think? Should we leave them on an island like maroons? That was England's way. Or kill them like animals? That was Flint's way, or Billy Bones's. Billy was the man for that, said Israel. Dead men don't bite, he used to say. Well, now he is dead himself. He knows the truth now. And if there was ever a cruel man, it was Billy. You are right, said Silver. He was quick and cruel. But listen to me. I am an easy man. I like to think of myself as a gentleman. But this time it is serious. Duty is duty, mates. My vote is for death. When I become a rich gentleman and live in comfort, I don't want any of these sailors coming back to trouble me. So we wait, that is what I say. But when the time comes, we act without mercy. John, cried the coxswain, you are a real man. You will say that, Israel, when you see, said Long John Silver. There is only one thing I want. I want Trelawney. I will twist his head off with my own hands. Dick, he added suddenly, jump up like a good lad and get me an apple so I can wet my pipe. You can imagine how afraid I was. I would have jumped out and run away if I had the strength, but my body and heart both failed me. I heard Dick begin to stand up, but then someone stopped him. Then the voice of Israel Hands said, Oh, leave that. Don't start drinking that stuff, John. Let's have some rum instead. Dick, said Silver, I trust you. I have marked the level of the barrel, remember? There is the key. Fill a cup and bring it here. Even though I was so afraid, I could not help thinking that this must be how Mr. Arrow got the alcohol that ruined him. Dick was gone only a short time. While he was away, Israel spoke quietly into the cook's ear. I could only hear a few words, but I understood something important. Among other things, I clearly heard him say, Not another man of them will join. This meant that there were still loyal men on the ship. When Dick came back, each of the 3 men took the cup and drank. One said, To luck. Another said, Here's to old Flint. And Silver himself said in a kind of song, Here's to ourselves. Hold steady. Plenty of treasure and plenty of food. Just then, a light appeared inside the barrel. I looked up and saw that the moon had risen. It shone on the top of the mast and made the front sail bright and white. At almost the same moment, the voice of the lookout shouted, Land ahead!